The Dark Web by Jennifer Gregg. What is the dark web? The part of the World Wide Web that is only accessible by means of special software, allowing users and website operators to remain anonymous or untraceable. Continued. The dark web is a lot like the black market. However, the illegal items being sold are more accessible since the businesses, in fact, ran online. Another obstacle investigators must tackle is the lack of paper trails. These illegal distributors have developed a method that makes them nearly impossible to catch. And they do this through encryptions and a website called Tor, the online router. The Silk Road was an infamous private browser created by Ross Ulbricht for the purpose of eliminating coercion by the government. Unfortunately for Ulbricht, he was caught by government when he accidentally used his personal email with his name in it on the forum on his site. The size of the dark web grew after the Silk Road had been taken down. And usually these websites are untraceable, but since he used personal information, he was eventually found by investigators. Ulbricht was given a sentence of double life plus 40 years in prison, which is more than most murderers get in prison. The onion router, Tor, which is private browsing known as Tor, is required to gain access to the dark web, and here's how it works. The only route not encrypted is to the destination from the website, so usually people who order from the dark web are easily traced down. And some people were found kidnapped by people who ran the dark web, like the model that went missing for 6 days. She fortunately returned to tell her frightening story. This British model exclaimed that her kidnapper threatened to sell her as a sex slave on the dark web. The kidnappers set her up by disguising themselves as photographers, drugging her, brought her to a cabin, and handcuffed her to a dresser for 6 whole days. And another thing found on the dark web is terrorist sites. Terrorists use the dark web as a basis to discreetly promote their messages, along with many other dark and illegal organizations. And this platform has been used by terrorists since the early 1990s, so it's become a lot more advanced since then. And most of the web's information is inside the deeper layer, so we haven't even been able to access most of the internet's information. And there's a movie made about the dark web, Unfriended. The recent film contains very realistic scenarios, such as the hacker who threatens to torture the user of the computer, and his anonymity behind the dark web makes it more sinister due to the common knowledge that it is nearly impossible to track down the creator of the dark website.